My neighbor spent 2 years filing HOA complaints about my lawn, so I spent 6 months making sure she'd never file another one again. My neighbor Diane moved in on a Tuesday. By Friday, I had my first HOA violation notice taped to my door. Lawn exceeds maximum height of 3.5 inches per community guidelines. I measured my grass with a ruler. It was 3.7 inches. I mowed it that afternoon, apologized to Diane over the fence. She smiled tightly and said, "Rules exist for a reason." 2 weeks later, another notice. Garbage bins visible from street after 7 p.m. on non-collection days. I'd brought them in at 7:14 p.m. because I got stuck in traffic. I set a phone reminder for 6:30 p.m. every trash day. Then it was my mailbox. Mailbox post shows visible rust. I repainted it. Then my car parked on the street overnight. My garden hose was the wrong color. My doormat was 2 inches too wide. Each violation came with a $50 fine if not corrected within 48 hours. I tried talking to her again. "Diane, I'm really trying here. Can you maybe just let me know directly if something's wrong?" She looked at me like I'd suggested burning down the HOA office. I don't make the rules. I just ensure everyone follows them equally. But she didn't. Her lawn was always exactly 3.5 inches. Her bins vanished by 6 p.m. Everything about her house was perfect. Aggressively perfect. I kept thinking if I just followed every rule perfectly, she'd leave me alone. Month 4, I got a notice about my fence. Fence paint chipping in 3 visible locations. I just painted it 6 months ago. The chips were smaller than my fingernail. That's when I started watching her house. On a Wednesday evening, I was bringing in my trash bins at exactly 6:29 p.m. when I saw it. Diane's recycle bin sitting at the curb. It was 7:45 p.m. Non-collection day. I took a photo. Checked the HOA rules. Yep, violation. I didn't report it. Not yet. I just started paying attention. Her mailbox had a dent. Her garden gnome was 14 inches tall. Maximum was 12. Her sprinkler ran at 6 a.m. on Tuesdays. Prohibited before 7 a.m. I documented everything. Photos, timestamps, measurements, exact rule citations. By month 6, I had 47 violations. 47 separate, documented, photographic evidence of Diane breaking the exact rules she'd been terrorizing me with. I didn't submit any of them. I just kept collecting evidence. Then the HOA sent out the email. Board elections in 2 weeks. 3 positions open, including HOA president. Diane was running. Her candidate statement talked about maintaining community standards and ensuring all residents follow established guidelines. The night before the election, I printed every single violation. 47 pages. Each one formatted exactly like the notices she'd sent me. Photo evidence, rule citation, date, time, measurement. I added a cover letter. Very polite, very formal. "Dear HOA board, I am writing to report ongoing violations by a community member seeking board leadership. As someone who believes strongly in following established guidelines, I felt these violations warranted documentation. I submitted it at 11:47 p.m. through the HOA portal, exactly 13 minutes before the midnight deadline for pre-election complaints. The election was at 7 p.m. the next day. I watched Diane walk into the community center at 6:50 p.m. wearing a navy pantsuit and carrying a leather folder. She looked confident. At 7:15 p.m., the current HOA president stood up. His face was gray. "We need to address a complaint filed last night before we proceed with elections." He pulled out my packet, started reading. Trash bins visible after permitted hours, documented on 14 separate occasions. Diane's face went white. Irrigation system operating before 7 a.m., documented on 23 separate occasions. He kept reading. The room got quieter with each violation. When he finished, he looked directly at Diane. "These violations totaled $2,350 in fines. Per our bylaws, any resident with outstanding fines cannot hold board positions." Diane stood up. Her hands were shaking. "I can contest these. Those photos could be from any time." The president held up his phone. "Each photo has metadata, date, and timestamps. All verified." He paused. "You've filed 43 complaints against other residents in the past year. You've built your campaign on strict rule enforcement. Did you think the rules didn't apply to you?" Diane grabbed her leather folder and walked out. She didn't even stay for the vote. I saw her once after that, loading boxes into a U-Haul 3 months later. She sold her house and moved. The new neighbors have a garden gnome that's definitely over 12 inches tall. I've never filed a complaint.